because the centerpiece of our service today was the two extraordinarily beautiful pieces of music that were featured. My words are going to be very brief. In fact, not a sermon, not even a homily, more like a very short story. In fact, it is a story. It's a story about my childhood that I try to share usually every couple years. So let us go back. Some might say, let us go back in order to begin. The railroad bridge seemed to stretch out for a mile over the ravine. It linked the sharp, rocky edge of where we stood to some far-away, unknown ending. If you breathed deep, you could still smell tar, steamy and sticky, that had long ago bubbled up on the bridge's beams, heated by the late summer sun. The paint had faded over the last few years, but the warning was still there: no trespassing. We laughed and threw rocks at the other side, the one proclaiming, "Do not cross the bridge." No one but us kids ever came out there during the day. At night, the teenagers would come. We'd find their beer cans, cigarette butts, even once a pair of Fruit of the Loom underwear, size waist 28 inches. But by day, that edge of the bridge was ours. It was a great place to hide from grown-ups, from the world that wanted us to be everything we were not. It was a great place to dream of everything we still might become. Shoes hung around our necks with T-shirts tucked into the waist of our low-slung shorts. We would walk a little way out onto that bridge, just out over the deep creek that ran below. The bigger, braver boys would walk forward along one metal rail, balancing and reveling in the heat that seared dirty toes, pain proving they were more than just boys pretending to be men. The smallers of us would cling to the sides of the bridge, holding on as we edged out over the water, cautiously reaching legs from railroad tie to railroad tie. We always stopped a quarter of the way out, screaming and yelling, "Train!" We would turn and rush back to the dirts and the rocks, laughing and rolling together till it was time to return home. Home. That sometimes harder place where dreams could drain away. No one had yet crossed that bridge, that railroad bridge, at least nobody that we knew. None of us yet needed to know what waited at the far end. We'd heard stories. 10 years earlier, the McCransky twins got caught mid-bridge by the train. Jimmy jumped at the last minute, landing hard on the rocks. Kieran took the train full force on his back as he tried to outrun it. One bridge, two boys, two deaths. We always stopped a quarter of the way out and turned back. But that day was different. Something had changed. Perhaps Christian realized that his comic books weren't going to magically turn him into a superhero. Perhaps Mark realized that his mother wasn't coming back. Perhaps Terry realized that in 1 week he wasn't going to live here anymore. Perhaps I realized that nothing could ever be the same. So that afternoon, we decided to cross over. We would claim the other side. We walked out to where we always stopped. This time, no one yelled, "Train," and retreated. In the shadows cast by the sun, edges were blurring, and yesterday seemed done. And then, almost as one, We stepped beyond. We let go of something that was once strangely us, but now is no more. We were in between. We were off balance. We were unknown even to our own selves. As if on cue, the breeze picked up, whipping through the wooden beams. It tousled Terry's hair. He smiled. Another gust, cooler, caused me to stop. Christian hollered and tossed his T-shirt high above our heads, and for a moment that T-shirt rode the wind out beyond the bridge. I shut my eyes, threw my arms wide open, and let that same wind rush across my skin. Arms became eagle wings. Imagination soared me to the sky and then brought me back down again.